I know heartbreaks, setbacks, bitchin' for crap out and show 'em a give back. I've been through the ups and downs, you know I get around, so to me, it's all a part of the game. Oh, it was treacherous. Oh, it was murderous. Season 5, Episode 1, the premiere of Raising Kanan. And we back like we never left, mostly. We gon' rap a taste on it. We gon' sip on it. And we damn sure gon' laugh on it. Sippin' cap time, y'all. Let's get it.
Like a criminal, criminal. Like a criminal, criminal. Like a criminal, criminal. Like a criminal, criminal.
Come on in, come on in. Back for another episode recap of that good Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 5, Episode 1, entitled By Blood. Welcome to Like a Criminal. I am your humble and most honorable host, Real. Let's just get down to brass tacks, shall we? So we start off with a little Harlem Shake action, you know. Little shimmy action. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yam, shimmy, yeah. Y'all know what the I'm talking about. This motherfucker Lulu did his last goddamn Harlem Shake, you know, that involuntary shimmy. Had his last tango in Paris, courtesy of Mr. Wet Behind the Damn Ears, old Mr. I Got This, Kanan Stark. You know, this motherfucker Lulu did a Missy Elliott up in this bitch, you know. This mofo was a 1-minute man. Break me off, show me what you got, 'cause I don't want no 1-minute man. You know that old saying, here today, gone tomorrow. Well, this mofo Lulu was here today, gone today. This mofo wasn't even 6 minutes Dougie fresh, y'all. You know, hell, this mofo ain't even have a line written for his ass. Like this mofo did not speak the English language in this goddamn episode. Like this motherfucker was Beyonce speechless and shit. You got me. You got me speechless. Writer served this mofo up a doozy. Served this mofo up a goddamn whimper. Cause here we go. Starting off Season 5, where we left Season 4, back in Rock's kitchen, witnessing Lil Player Kanan, this little knucklehead, with the Glock cocked, locked, and loaded, pointing it at he mama. You know, fingers on the trigger, time's up, give it up, I'm that roughneck, Glock's on cock. Y'all know what the I'm talking about. This motherfucker Kanan was bout it this evening, you know. I mean, this motherfucker was fed up with he mama shit. Some shit that got put on her like a goddamn bad wig, you know. Crystal, famous. But that's what the streets do, you know. Sometimes the streets is gonna put some dirt on you. And you gonna have to eat that, you know. Y'all don't hear me. Had this motherfucker Kanan hocked up on some hype, about to blow his mama to bits, you know. Pop her copper top and all of that. But you know who else was fed up? Fucking Rock. Raquel Thomas was goddamn fed up. You know, look here, y'all. Listen, the game is a constant hustle. Gotta stay hustling. You know, no ups, no breaks, no naps, no timeouts, no snooze. You know the saying, you snooze, you lose. And that ain't never been more applicable than in them goddamn streets. You know, mama looked tired, fed the up. Baby boy pointing that gat at her ass. Oh, you done failed, sis. In extreme capacity. Goddamn walls was closing in on all sides. Baby girl was tired. And after closing her weary eyes to accept her fate from the hands of her own goddamn child, you know, on some look now, I done told you I ain't do that shit. But if you got to get on with it, it. You know how the saying go. Well, then get on with it, motherfucker. Rock was on that. No pleading, no begging. Goddamn G and OG. Ain't a fucking man. Kanan get to iron up that shot. Here come goddamn Big Luther around the corner. You know, this mofo Ruben. Sees Kanan with the gun pointed at he mama. Gets to pointing his gun, you know, to protect his employer. Like this mofo was working. But with him was Lulu. I don't know how the fuck that happened, but with him was Lulu. And Lulu see who he pointing the gun at and quickly bum rushes big player Ruben. You know, f***ing his aim up and shit. This goddamn Wu-Tang clan we talking about here, you know. He get to protecting his family. But these mofos came in the kitchen loud and shit, you know. Wu-Tang had brought the motherfucking ruckus. Cause when he rushed Ruben, the gun went off, startling little player Kanan, who instantly turned attention away from Rock and on to Wu-Tang. This mofo Kanan was on that squeeze first, ask questions last. And that's how Lulu passed, you know. Tag Lulu ass proper. This mofo Lulu had them Prince eyes and shit, like he was about to get nasty and start nasty voguing and shit. I could have sworn I heard a dove cry and shit. Had Lulu ass on that wall like, how could you just leave me standing alone in a world that's so cold? Kanan put an end to that shit, slumped Lulu ass right the f*** over. This mofo Lulu said not one word. Just bled out. This mofo's face was horrible. Like this cat was horrified. Not because he was shot. I mean, yeah, that was part of it. Not because it was Kanan. But because he knew it wasn't no goddamn help coming. At this point, everybody in goddamn shock. You know, like what the f*** just happened? Before anybody knew anything, Rock told Ruben, no goddamn ambulances, you know. When she said that shit, Looked like Lulu Grill went from pain to sheer goddamn terror. Like his mouth wanted to say, what? I ain't never seen you act like this. Rock told Kanan to get the out, which he quickly did. Spoke not one goddamn word. Didn't check on Lulu, didn't do shit but step. Next thing we see, they dump his ass off at the goddamn drug dealer landfill. Looked like that shit was next door to where Ronnie dumped Unique ass after bashing his motherfucking skull in, Laid this motherfucking Lulu out like roadkill. Left his ass there like goddamn Norbit. Left his ass like Norbit at the Golden Wonton and shit. Why they do Lulu like that? Brought his ass back just to kill him off in the first 3 goddamn minutes. And now they gonna reminisce over his ass like Pete Rock and CL goddamn Smooth all goddamn season. When they reminisce over you, my God. And after they dump the body, Rock like, now, you can't tell nobody about this shit, Ruben. You know that, right? Like, you got to die with this secret. This motherfucker Ruben was in the car, looking like a cross between Big Luther and one of the cats from Men at Large. Y'all don't know what the I'm talking about. Like this motherfucker was looking befuddled, like a mofo, like he didn't understand the assignment. Like this mofo was regretting the life choices he has now made on some, I ain't built for nobodies. I ain't built for nobodies. Y'all don't hear me though. Like the motherfucking muscle was having a hard goddamn time understanding the sentiment that Rock was putting down. Shit, she hit his ass with that Aaliyah. You can't tell nobody, I'm talking about nobody. Is it my go? Is it your go? Sometimes I'm goody. Told his ass he couldn't tell nobody. He still didn't know what the was happening or how to react. He up in the goddamn car looking like he can't decide whether he gonna get KFC or Popeyes once he get out Rock goddamn car. Big goddamn Luther was struggling. And she seen it. Like she running low on mofos on the team was gonna let his ass live. But she saw his doubt quick. I knew this mofo, Ruben, wasn't gonna get that goddamn Popeyes. Ever. Realized this mofo ain't make her a goddamn believer, Ain't make her a believer in the motherfucking cause tonight. I wanna love, wanna have, wanna hold you, girl. So make me a believer. Wanna love, wanna love, wanna love you, girl. Wasn't feeling his shit at all. Hit his ass with that excuse me, miss, Excuse me, miss, what's your name? Where are you from? And can I come? And possibly, can I take you out tonight? Took his ass right the out. Call Ruben big ass back over to the car on that hold up. You did good tonight, Let me hit you off with a little something extra, for the extra work you did. This motherfucker Ruben was a dead man walking at this point. He just ain't know it. He go back over to the car like he was about to get that Roof Chris Steakhouse money for the month and shit, you know. Got too large put in his dumb ass. Like, pow! Pow! Then she got out the car, delivered one to his dome piece. Blah! Show ain't been on but 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, y'all. And 2 mofos inside Rock Circle is already laid the out. Now while Lou was laid out, somewhere to be discovered after rodents pick his shit apart, well, B-RILLA was laid up in one of Rock's little hole-in-the-wall spots, you know, up at the mall, watching over a tied-up PERNESSA and Jerome waiting on Lulu, who we know ain't coming. Putting mad disrespect down, you know. Telling them if they don't stop making noises, he gonna stop them noises permanently, you know, called P a like he ain't give a good goddamn how old Jerome was, who his father was, or none of that. Like this motherfucking cat, B-RILLA was going in. Said exactly 10 lines before Unique and Akbar stormed up in that bitch and laid his ass out. They get to knocking at the door. This cat B-RILLA like, Lou, is that you? And after no response was verbally provided, this motherfucker steady crept toward the door with no gun drawn. Caught him slipping. Like this mofo thought it was Domino's and some shit. Like, I ain't order no pizza. They came in the door, blew his ass to goddamn bits. I mean, this mofo B-RILLA got B-riddled with bullets. His ass be deader than a mother. They take P and Jerome up out of there after having gotten the intel on their whereabouts from Rilla's baby moms, you know. And while all of that shit is happening, with Lulu and B-RILLA getting laid the out, unbeknownst to everyone else who ain't been mentioned yet, well, the word begins to spread about Lulu, you know, starting with Marvin and Juke, who was up in the spot, getting that breakfast wrap, you know, like the Power Universe ain't Meta Kellogg's cereal. They didn't with, you know, Snaps and Pop, goddamn Rice Krispies, cornflakes, Marvin up in there, chowing down on a heap and helping of that damn Honey Nut Cheerios, you know. Goddamn Fruit Loops was on the table. Goddamn Honey Nut Cheerios is the choice of killers worldwide. Remember Ronnie was terrorizing PERNESSA ass about his damn honey nut? Well, Marvin and Juke getting a rap over breakfast, you know. And as Juke telling her pops about the fact that Kanan was hocked up on some hype going to see Aunt Rock last night, she had to call Uncle Lou to make sure shit was good and all of that. Well, she been calling both Lou and Kanan, and ain't nobody taking that call. Just then they get a knock on the door. You know, I mean, they get that knock. Y'all ever get that knock? Goddamn cops be wanting to come to in and shit, you know. Try telling a motherfucking cop they gotta deliver that goddamn bad news outside the door, you know, through the door. These mofos get goddamn belligerent. Don't matter what time of night it is. They come in the in. And come in they do. Let them know Lulu is now playing spades with Uncle Charles and shit, you know. Can now be seen. Y'all know where? The motherfucking crossroads. And they go down to the morgue and verify that Lulu body, well, Marvin, at least, verify that Lulu body is Lulu. Marvin get back in the car to an awaiting Juke. And they both lose it, ugly crying and all of that, no facial expression spared. The goddamn Thomases was hurting. This motherfucker Kanan got everybody teared up and shit. Shortly after, Marvin head over to Rocks, to share the bad news with her. Tells her Juke said Lulu was on his way over here last night to get between some shit her and Kanan had cooked up. Rock tell him that was the usual shit between them two. Said Lulu ain't never come by. He like, where the Luther at? Big Rube. She like, I ain't talked to his ass since last night. Marvin was madder and sadder than a motherfucker. He like, I know it was unique ass. See, she handling the news like a goddamn champ, on that Johnson's baby shampoo and shit, no more tears. Y'all know what the I'm talking about. He like, you ain't shed not one goddamn tear. On top of being disgruntled, this motherfucker Marvin was offended, cause he don't know the truth of how shit went down. Ain't see Rock's ass break down while trying to clean that teeny tiny little speck off of Lulu off the wall and shit. After she thought she cleaned up good, seen this little speck. Ain't see Rock fall the hell over in agony. Ain't see the cleaning solution all up in her goddamn hair and shit. This cat Marvin was like, oh, this some bullshit right here. Rock ain't crying. Goddamn Lulu dead, and it don't look like nobody gonna do shit. He like, where PERNESSA at? She tried to steer him off of that path. One, because she knew that Unique ain't do it. And two, because she knew it wasn't no coming back from what Marvin was thinking, She seen Marvin good goddamn eyes start twitching, He like, that. PERNESSA. Where she at? Saw this mofo Marvin was on one, tears was jumping out his motherfucking eyes. She tell him the location, he dipped the out with a quickness. Hits up the spot, but finds him gone, finds B-RILLA goddamn be riddled with a handful of 38 special slugs in his goddamn torso, courtesy of Unique and Akbar. Marvin was on one, he like, hell nah. Heads down to Unique custom tailor shop, broke into that did not find Unique or anyone Unique cared about. But did find that he was goddamn destructively creative and shit. This mofo, Marvin start tearing all Unique shit up. Like this mofo was smashing pumpkins on that piece. This motherfucker was on some Gallagher shit. Smashing everything up. Even hit one of Unique's windows with a goddamn Mookie from Do the Right Thing. Mookie? Piece the up out of there, And while all of that was happening, at Rocks, a goddamn similar conversation was happening at Kanan's. As Juke went to tell his ass the bad news, share the grief. Response was much colder with Kanan, wasn't it? She tell his ass Uncle Lou gone. Told him last she heard, he was on his way to get between him and Rock last night, said she never would have thought some shit like this could happen to the Thomases, not us, Kanan hit Juke ass with some paid in full type shit, like die every day, B. This mofo Kanan was on one, wasn't no back and forth convo. This motherfucker Kanan went Rick James on loop. This motherfucker Kanan went Rick James on Juke. This cat was cold as ice. You were cold as ice long ago, baby. Motherfucker M.O.P. cold as ice. You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice. I'd like to welcome motherfucker to the back of the mind of Bill. See, I'm for real. When delivering these M.O.P. tactics, I'll bury you bastards. I custom make caskets. This motherfucker Kanan was that cold. Sipping his little water and shit, his little Dasani or whatever. Left Juke ass to grieve alone. Like shit was not worth Kanan goddamn time. At some point, they both pieced the up out of there. On Juke way home, she get run up on by Detective Garcia, who about to be fresh up on some new bullshit. Hyped up by the now retired Sergeant Baptiste. Who, as he was on his way out the door, tells Garcia ass that if he want to move up that ladder, he need to find out who sent Malcolm Howard to the goddamn crossroads, Kanan daddy. Said that shit would really be helpful, Can't have the murder of a police officer go unanswered, unaccounted for. No. Said you do that, then bang, zoom. You going to the moon, Alice. You write your own goddamn ticket up in this piece. And as Juke was on her path, Garcia comes up on her, having followed her ass, asked her for some help on the Howard case. Juke tell his ass she can't help him, and he tells her she done up. He like, I was trying to be good cop when I holler at you, But you about to get the bad cop side, Told Juke he was about to do a Jekyll and Hyde on that ass. Juke looked at Garcia like, mofo, somebody done told you wrong. Breezed right past his little ass. At some point, Aisha come by to see her, and they get a rap. Both they asses looking like they are long ways from the days of goddamn butter. Shit, Aisha was looking grown as shit. Juke was on that woe is me. Today Uncle Lou, tomorrow might be my goddamn day, Needed a friend, and Aisha was there for that, Tried to comfort Juke. Asserts and reasserts that Lulu fate wasn't hers. Juke like, yes it is. You don't know shit. Wasn't nothing Aisha could say that was gonna snap Juke out her funk, But Aisha played her part as a listener, as a friend, and that's all that mattered. She pieced up out of there. At some point, looked like her mama came and scooped up, I guess her mama, somebody grown and shit, and following behind they ass was goddamn Garcia. Goddamn it. Here he go, trying to find any angle his ass can work. Now let's go back to Kanan for a second, because after he and Juke parted ways for the day, he rolled over to his headquarters, his old spot. His crew was up in that bitch watching Rap City and shit, goddamn video music box. Had that good DJ Quick up on the tube, Now Oakland. It's just like Compton. Why dude laugh like he just ate two of the goddamn homies and shit? It's just like Compton. These mofos ain't have a goddamn thing to do, 'cause they ain't have no work. Kanan used to look at they ass when he came in and the weed was out like, mofos, if y'all don't put that goddamn smoke out. Now this motherfucker Kanan was taking hits like puff puff pass, mofo, you know the routine. Goddamn hard times. But that's the evolution. Y'all don't hear me though. They tell Kanan they need that work. Like we really up in here watching rap videos instead of hugging that block. Pressing on Kanan about that work in a respectful manner though, Told them they heard about this cat named Breeze who putting cats on, said this motherfucker paying too. Like his crew calling Breeze ass out by name. Kanan tell him to hold tight, Said he gonna see what's what. And he go down to see what's what, go down to little player Breeze spot. Gets down to the pawn shop where Breeze is held up. This motherfucker Breeze got some Def Jam Fight for New York shit going down in the back. This motherfucker had Baxter fighting Rome and all of that. Had goddamn Crow up in that bitch. Had goddamn Fight for New York 1 and 2. Making mofos fight to the death. This one cat tried to get out to fight, after he had gotten his ass whooped. Threw in the white towel, waved a flag, screamed uncle and all of that. The victor started to walk away, like show's over. Y'all can go home now. Where my money? Goddamn Breeze was like, you ain't done till I'm done, And I ain't done till that mofo can't motherfucking walk. Hit homeboy with that Mortal Kombat and all of that. Like, finish him. Flashed a piece at his ass, just in case he thought Breeze was bullshitting. But he wasn't. Was on that 2 walk in, but only 1 walk out type shit, and after more ass whooping, Kanan and Breeze go to the front and get that rap, in which Breeze tell Kanan that he joining a bigger network if he with him, with him and Snaps and Pop gonna be part of something larger than just his one little operation. No disrespect to the operation. He like, but we got the Italians with us. We got Chuck E. Cheese, the Burger King, like competition is none. Come with us. Tells Kanan they shit already up, running, and profiting. And Kanan asked the question, why him? This mofo had the courier idea, was a little ingenious. But that was about it. This motherfucker wasn't taking over parts of Queens and shit, you know. This mofo Breeze was hyping it up, though. You know, like, yo, you the missing piece. Had Kanan ass sly grinning and all of that shit. Sheepish grinning. Tells Kanan won. 'Cause he like his style, you know. His hustle. But more so it's about legacy. You know, see, Kanan don't really know much about how his family name ring out. You know, like this mofo, a Kennedy in South Jamaica, Queens and shit. You know, family seed of legendary Queens hustlers. You know, that name carry weight in South Jamaica, Queens, whether he know it or not. Man, that's brand recognition, you know, and they was all over that. In a not so in-your-face state the obvious to Kanan type of way, you know, because they ain't want to offend him. You know, because they know he don't give two good goddams about that or his mom's right now. Hell, it might turn him off. Because this mofo want to be his own man. Oh, this motherfucker ain't got a clue. That's why he fucking up now. At some point, Kanan piece up out of there. Looked like Breeze man Taz was hating a little bit, you know. Looked like this mofo was having some issues of his goddamn own, moving some goddamn work. Little player Breeze shut that hating shit down with the quickness, you know. Tell little player, worry about yo shit. You can already see Nemesis number 1 for Mr. Kanan Stark. Now, before Kanan came to see Breeze, Breeze had met with Snaps and Pop, you know, little check-in. And they got a rap over some dinner, you know, plotting, planning a takeover. And during that rap, pops off a little young boy cockiness, you know, a little OG wisdom, mixed all into one. And Snaps and Pop tell Breeze they need Unique on the team right now. They tell his ass we don't need no extra static, as they make this play for all of South Jamaica Queens, you know, respected the respect Unique still had on the goddamn street. And they piece up out of there, decide to step things up a bit, move things along a little bit. Stop by Unique shop, to which they found Unique there, basking in the aftermath of a Hurricane Marvin. Unique was all up. I mean, his was up. And they get a little rap, you know, and being the businessman Unique is, you know, very level-headed when he wants to be. Tell Snaps and Pop he interested in seeing what this partnership could be about. And they tell him they think that's a good motherfucking idea, you know. Need him to get on the same page, though, with their nephew Breeze. And now Unique stand at the doorstep of little player Breeze. You know, it's a little testy up in that piece initially. But drug dealer friendly, you know, hustler to hustler. Little bit of witty banter. And they sit and get a rap. Now Unique got some questions, you know, as you would expect. You know, like how this shit gonna work? You expect me to work for you? Or we partners? Who the supplier? Can I at least know 4 out of the secret blend of 11 herbs and spices? You know, can I at least know 4? You know, like that. And we get to see Breeze's business savviness, you know, gives Unique just enough info. Basically told Unique they operations link up and they don't beef with each other. That's the plan, goddammit. And they have an honest conversation with each other about the Thomases, with Unique putting his cards flat on the table. You know, tells Breeze they gonna be gunning for his ass. 'cause they think he killed Lou. But he didn't. And he wondering if that's gonna be a problem, figuring how Breeze with Kanan and shit, And Breeze keep it 100 with Unique. Tells his ass Kanan was just in here. But he ain't say shit about that, only focused on that business. This motherfucker Unique was a little shook, even went to Jersey to see Phil Russo. Like, yo, the f you do? You hit up Lou? They gonna be coming for my shit now. To which goddamn Phil Russo told his ass he ain't do it. Also informed Unique ass that he was done with his shit, Said you on your own, little player. Jersey ain't got your back no more. Said he got his own shit to worry about. This mofo Russo was visibly shook. That little stunt he pulled on Stefano last season, out in the park, tried to cut Stefano ass up on the laziest motherfucking shanking I ever did see. Left the job unfinished, badly executed, and now he know his ass is doo-doo grass, Like this mofo shanked Stefano like 2 times on some up-close jailhouse sneak it so the guards don't see type shit. Like, Then he got up and stepped like he had some shit to do, or he had the shit. Well, he got that shit to worry about, cause Stefano gonna be coming for his motherfucking head since he ain't died. This mofo Stefano up in the hospital bed with all the king's men around his ass, on some hear ye. Told him this thing of theirs lives off the premise that what happened to his ass should never go unanswered. Said he wanted Russo head on a goddamn plate, on a spike. Told they ass, never mind why I was there, Told his ass, never mind why I was there with Stefano alone and shit, That's for another time, another place, Like mother, what? Goddamn Stefano sunned his crew, like your parents back in the day when they was going out for the evening. And you as a little kid had to go to ask where y'all going. And they gave that gall right back with a 1-word answer. And that word was out. That's where we going, out. Ain't tell you shit. He like, never mind why I was meeting with his ass alone in the park. I know it looks shady. But never mind that. He stabbed me, y'all. This bitch got to go. Ouch. Got a little righteous with his shit, Talking about he ready to start a goddamn war if he got to. Over honor and character. 2 attributes to which if they knew why his ass was in that goddamn park and the shit he and Russo had cooked up, they would not attribute to his ass, And one of them probably gonna gut his ass before it's all over after finding out this season. I could see him and Russo ass with some goddamn lead shoes on in the Hudson, both of they asses, over this shit right here, Let's go back to Unique for a second. I mean, shit is getting hot for Unique, So much so that after a heartfelt chat with PERNESSA, he decides to send her away, hopefully this time, out of state, out of the region, hopefully she end up somewhere with Peyton Manning in Omaha and play her goddamn part as the illest bitch in Nebraska, P talking about, I wish you could come be with us. Unique like, I'ma come see y'all. Not come be with y'all. See y'all, you know. P and Jerome get ready to pull off. Unique little son was looking at his ass like, mofo, what? I don't know you. This mofo Jerome gonna need some teen and preteen counseling and shit, you know. Might have to homeschool his ass. Segue to another little kid who gonna need some major shrink couch time. Detectives over Lil' Amber new foster home, you know, lightly sauteing her ass over the shit that went down at the old foster home, you know. The one that Marvin shot up when he went to check on Lil' Amber after he found she was missing school and shit, you know. Determined that situation ain't sound right. Went to check on shit, you know, got an address from early Tyler connections. Found her new foster parents looking right suspect. Had Amber ass in a room and some shit, taking care of a baby. You know, a locked ass room. Now you can speculate what was happening. From whether the parents was just getting foster kids for the money and neglecting their asses, you know. Locking them in a room, telling them to sit your ass down and take care of their damn selves. Which is what it looked like to me. Marvin estimated that whatever it was some bullshit. You know, in fact, the parents got a little bullish, didn't they? Gave Marvin ass the business, to which Marvin ended up having to put him down. He laid them foster demons out and got the f*** up out of there. Told Amber to tell anybody who asks that a white man shot this shit up. A white man with tattoos. The man. And that's the story she was telling when the DTs asked her ass, you know. She was on that story hard. Had it all rehearsed. She like a white cat with tattoos. Came and shot my shit up, you know. They like, we were told it was a black cat. She like, a white cat. With tattoos. They know her ass lying. This one cat was like, okay, Amber. We've been through this a few times now. But let's take it from the top, okay? This is where they get you. He like, let's take it from the top, goddammit. So you say it was a white cat, yes? She like, yeah, with tattoos. All over his arms and body. He like, well, this is new news, Amber. This shit is new that you mentioned it. 'Cause that's different than what you said before. Hit Amber with that polite, kid-friendly version of, you know you done f***ed up, right? You know you done f***ed up. One of the authority ladies was like, look, f*** all that. I'm going to tell Amber little ass that if she don't stop lying, we going to remove her from the goddamn premises. You know, she like this motherfucking foster family. We going to see if that change her tune. You know, poor little Amber. Now Rock goes down to see HAFIZ. And as she pull up, she see a chick getting in a cab, complaining that this mofo HAFIZ had some goddamn nerve running late for her date and shit, you know. Was complaining to HAFIZ man that she got dates all goddamn day. You know, hit his ass with that Myra. You know, I got men's waiting on me. And this cat HAFIZ was f***ing up her schedule, you know. Ain't no waiting to serve this mofo up and shit. Looked like HAFIZ was ordering up that Grubhub ass. That DoorDash and Smash. And Rock peeped it, you know. Rock get inside to a freshly served HAFIZ. You know, this mofo looked like he had just got some ass. Get to telling him that she having a little setback, you know, but she good. He wasn't feeling that shit at all, you know. Now maybe it was the ass or the order, you know, because we ain't never heard HAFIZ with this level of bass in his voice, you know. Told Rock it was better to be dead than to not deliver on what you say. You know, short conversation. And at some point, the Thomases find themselves up in the damn church, you know, for Lulu's funeral services. You know, everybody was up in that piece. Goddamn Marvin up in the spot, up at the podium, making himself the #1 suspect if some shit should ever happen to any major player in the game even thought of having some kind of beef with motherfucking Lou. He like, if I find the cat who did it, he gonna meet me before he meet his God. Praise Jesus. Just some unpredictable, uncontrollable type shit. You know, that pill was a tough one to swallow for big bro Marvin. He wasn't taking this shit well at all, you know, nor should he. You know, an untimely death from health issues is one thing. Death from murder is something with a completely different set of emotions attached to it, you know. Rock gives a good goddamn speech, you know, heartfelt, warm. After the funeral over, Kanan immediately dips out, you know, ain't standing around with the family chit-chatting. You know, no nothing. Just cold. Rock catches up with his ass at the car, you know, tries to talk to Kanan. She like, I ain't heard from your ass since I cleaned your shit up. This mofo Kanan was stone cold Steve Austin. You know, goddamn Geico caveman cold and shit. She tell him she was done cleaning up his shit. He hit her ass with that Birdman, you know. He like, is we done or is we done? She like, oh, we done. Playboy, ain't no you and me no more. Ain't no more you and me, you know. And as Kanan was giving Rock Birdman vibes, Juke was getting her bird's eye view of they little discussion. Peeping it. Like something don't look right over this, but I can't quite put my finger on it. But the mother and son unpleasantries continued. As Rock tell Kanan he was on his own. This mofo hit her with the dead eyes. This motherfucker's eyes was dead. Like, okay. You know. Every time she couldn't get a rise out of his ass, she said more shit. You know. She like, we don't mean nothing to each other. No more. He hit her ass with that Chad from SNL, you know. That Pete Davidson. She like, we through, Kanan. He like, okay. Hit her with the dead eyes. Hit her with the dead eyes and all of that. You know, figuring her shit was gonna pierce his soul. Hit him with that hurtful shit. She was the only one visibly f***ing hurt. You know, goddamn Rock. Cheers, y'all.